even on our sunset.
Yeah.
It was a perfect moment where, we go the first night and we're sitting on a cliff watching the sunset, and I had like a little speech rehearsed, and thankfully I caught myself and I was like, there's no words that I can say to possibly improve or equal or make more sense than just everybody watching the sunset.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
You don't have to get up as early, huh? That's awesome. All right. Yeah, I have no intention behind this, just conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously, 100%. I want to talk about this, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and I'll kick it off right here as we are.
Yeah, man.
So obviously, we got Kevin Stark here for those people that don't know who you are. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about your background? Obviously, I don't like to think like, hey, he's a Navy SEAL that defines you, because that's not all you are. But that's a big part of your life, obviously. So.
Yeah. Gosh, what a great question. I spent 22 years in the Navy. I was in the SEAL teams for pretty much the entirety of that time, except for, going to boot camp and then BUDS training. So I joined at a really young age. I was 18. Went through BUDS at 18 and 19 when I checked into my first SEAL team.
Yep.
So very impressionable at that age.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I had a lot of positive mentors and influences that shaped me. I'd say half of my career, if I was going to wrap it up really quick in a nutshell, was at a SEAL team or an operational unit.
Yep.
And the other half of my career was spent in a teaching capacity or as an instructor. So I worked as an instructor in SEAL training and then also at the Naval Academy.
Yeah.
So helping those guys get ready for BUDS and SEAL training, and then also working on how do we identify the right people to go to SEAL training, right? They're all driven, they're all smart, great kids, and there's probably 300 that want to go, and we can only take 28.
Yeah.
Right. So how do we get the people that have the right character to come in the teams? And I learned just a heck of a lot about people. I learned a lot about myself as much as I go, As soon as I learned something about like, oh man, that's really important for someone's character, I'd kind of look at myself and go like, oh shit, I got some work to do, which is a good thing. And before I retired, I was lucky enough to go through a couple of veteran transition organizations.
Yep.
One in particular, it's called the Station Foundation. It's out of Bozeman, Montana. A good friend of mine runs it. And it threw a whole different perspective on like the warrior's journey and what it means for us to serve in society and how we can continue our service after the military.
Yeah.
Right. But now as members of our community, or as for some of us fathers and husbands, right? Or moms, or whatever it is, it's how do you transition your military? In the military, it was very simple and clear cut, like what's expected of you, and you had a group of people around you to keep you up to that standard. And then when you transition, you got to find that for yourself.
Yeah.
And I decided, I was like, I really enjoy helping people and teaching people.
It's wicked evident. I don't want to necessarily interrupt you, but
please do.
I just want to throw it out there because we're on day 4 here in Alabama, State Park, and because we're here with your program that you founded, the Arete Path, which it's changed my life in 4 days. I'll say, it's one of the most humbling experiences of my life. And
awesome.
I mean, I appreciate it, and everyone here I know equally appreciates it so freaking much, and it's just such an incredible opportunity. So I gotta thank you for that, because this is just, this will be something I carry with me the rest of my life. And so it's like you're not only adding value to me, I'm gonna be a little bit different, hopefully a lot different, and I'm gonna pass it down not only to people I know and love and care about, you know, people I don't necessarily know. So just adding value is just huge.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, you know, I was talking to my wife, which this is the first podcast I've done without her, and so I got some questions, as I told you, from her. But you know, I was talking with her, and I always say, like, the best, most authentic thing you'll ever hear is the way somebody talks behind your back, and like that's very important. And I was like, man, yeah, like you're one of the most humble people I've ever met, and I'm like, I wonder, have you always been like that, or were you at one point a dick when you were younger? Or, like, no,
Good question. Yeah, man, for sure. I think, and I still am, man. It's an evolutionary process. But when I was younger, I mean, yeah, I was pretty arrogant, and I was like, I thought, like, oh man, if you're not a part of the SEAL community, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, we're the only like hard, smart people. You know what I mean? Just very, very. I don't know. Just, I think it's because I had such a limited experience of the world.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't realize. I wasn't humble enough to see like the excellence that was just everywhere around me.
Yeah.
So I assumed that, because the SEALs are awesome, then this is the only place there is awesome. Which is definitely not true. And I think in the military, sometimes we think like, oh, we're part of the best unit, or whatever. And then you just meet someone and you're like, oh my gosh, their life story is like 3 times more interesting than what I have to offer. So I think as I matured, and once again, as people kind of guided me a little bit, it helped me to like understand the value of different life experiences out there.
Yeah.
And then also, I've been on a seeking path for a long time in helping. How do you help people? How do you like live a meaningful, fulfilling life? And if you're seeking that, it's because you don't have it, and you have to come to that realization. And then you see it in other people or other communities and tribes and experiences. So I learned a lot from everywhere else but myself.
Okay.
So yeah, but when I was young, man, I wouldn't say like super arrogant, but definitely like, okay, this guy thinks he's pretty fucking cool. But he's not. So it was an evolution, and I'm still learning every time. Like even on our sunset.
Yeah.
This perfect moment where, you know, we go the first night and we're sitting on a cliff watching the sunset, and I had like a little speech rehearsed, and I was, thankfully I caught myself, and I was like, there's no words that I can say to possibly improve or equal or make more sense than just everybody watching the sunset.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's always a good reminder that like less is more.
Yeah.
And if anything, I've probably swayed to the side of maybe too much of not speaking up or saying anything out of fear of being that young, arrogant kid again.
Yeah.
So it's a balance.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all. Speaking of the devil, she's texting me, but I was gonna read off one of her questions.
Yeah.
Said if he wasn't in the military, what would he be doing, or how would he try? Which you're not anymore. So, or how would he try to spread positivity? Could do it in other ways. So I mean, you might as well with that question just talk about what you're doing and what is the purpose of this, because this is cool.
Yeah. Like I said, going through that transition program, it opened my eyes to, wow, like humans had a lot of this figured out, and by this I mean mechanisms, cultural things that we can do, tribal experiences that were in place hundreds and thousands of years ago that communities used to teach, to train, to develop, to bring up the next generation, to give people a sense of identity and purpose.
Yeah.
And so I researched the crap out of all tribes, Native Americans, you know, a lot of like European tribes, just from my background, like Germanic tribes, and just a good fascination. And then I found, wow, a lot of them are doing similar things
Yeah.
like in teaching people, or having like rites of passage where people are going through ritual and ceremony to, you know, become new versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And I look back at my own experience, I was like, well, I had a rite of passage, you know. It was, I guess, getting a driver's license is one, although I failed my test the first time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, joining the military, you know, making it through SEAL training, those are all rites of passage.
Yeah.
But those are institutional rites of passage where an institution provides something, and therefore your loyalty and service belongs to the institution, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I was looking for those things that were more of like where there wasn't a barrier between us, like an institution. It was just like me helping you as a human.
Yeah.
So that's why I created this, which is just a program borrowing from thousands of years of traditions. Like none of this is mine. I see myself as a guide, just creating space so people like you can journey into that space, do what you need to do that's relevant in your life, and then move forward. And you know, my blessing is to just help create a space and not make it about me.
Yeah, you're so damn gifted with it, though. You're enthusiastic, and you can tell you just genuinely give a fuck. You care. And like when you're reading things off, you're memorizing this stuff, like all these things. I'm just like, man, you had this structured so well, and like you said, you haven't been doing this that long, and it's just,
I appreciate it, man. It's funny, like I'm shooting from the hip too a lot of times. Like
you would not know. We had no idea.
But I think a lot of it is just understanding like where the group is at.
Yeah.
You know, and once again keeping myself in check a little bit and be like, no, and then because you're like the value you guys bring, and like hearing you speak and the others on the team is like that's the magic. So it's that fine balance of providing a pathway, making sure you guys are walking it. But it's good, man. It's a fun mystery, and I think, like you said, if people know you care, like if you guys know I genuinely care, even if I screw up, you're willing to like look past it.
Yeah.
So it is good.
Yeah. I'll go on to her next question.
Yeah.
And, what was one of the times in his life, non-military, that changed his life, relationships, loss, etc.? And you don't have to go too deep if you don't want to. It's just that's your call.
Oh man.
It could be positive too. It doesn't have to be necessarily.
Yeah. That's a good point, because right away I'm like, you know. What a good question.
I always like to say, you know, even those negative experiences in their own way,
100%.
they're so damn positive too, though.
I think of like the gold fixed teacup.
Yeah.
You know, that you taught me about.
Yeah. Kintsugi, or I think I'm saying that right.
I honestly think a lot of micro experiences of, I get in the car with an Uber driver, and you don't think anything of it, and you go into the airport, come to find out they're retired and they're just doing this because they enjoy meeting people, you know, and they have some amazing life story, and then you meet someone else random and it's like, oh yeah, we're starting a business, and it's just everybody has a unique thing to offer. And I think while there have been events in my life, like singular events where either they were like, oh awesome, like getting married, like having kids, you know, and bad things like failing at something or losing somebody, a family member. But the being able to the best of my ability anyways, like remove ego, remove stereotypes, and genuinely just try to understand and see someone for who they are. That's been the most awakening thing. And every time I go in like, well, here's this young kid, they don't know shit, you know, and then I find out like they have a world of knowledge and experience, and I'm the one taking notes in the back of the car. You know, so I would say not really addressing the question exactly, but it's been those many moments of letting myself be open and not having an ego and just meeting people.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Uber driver, and for some reason made me think on the flight down here, which I'm very new to. Like I said, I haven't flown a lot in my life, but there's this kid sitting next to me the whole flight down, and we didn't talk at all. They had headphones on, and I'm pretty friendly, but I didn't say anything. Just sat there, and we were just coming down to land, and then I tapped his arm, asked him something. I don't remember what it was, but sure enough, the person's an officer in the Navy. We ended up hitting it off talking, you know, until we got off the plane. Just great person. You know, it's just so interesting how much the dynamic changed when we opened up that line of communication. You know, and that person, like you said, they have their own journey that they're on, and and I think there's only like one more. What was there a specific thing that happened that made you want to help others? Like what was a part of his journey that made him grow the most and realize that helping others was his purpose?
Damn.
I like that. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, that's
I think being on the team, you know, you're learning, because that's got to be.
You know, there's some few moments. One time in our community, like, everybody's pretty good. And so the expectation is always like doing well.
Yeah, the bar's high.
And so therefore we never, I don't want to say never, but it's rare to really compliment someone authentically and genuinely.
Yeah.
You know, there's like awards and this, that, and the other thing, but the first time I ever got called like a good leader, you know, by one of my teammates, that really blew me away, and I was like, holy shit, that really meant a lot, because I looked up to that guy so much.
Yeah.
And it was just something I heard him say in passing. He was like, oh yeah, man, he was one of the best leaders I worked with, and I was like, holy crap.
That's awesome.
Do you know what I mean? And to hear that, I was like, wow. Like, I had no idea. I thought I was just treading water. So that made an impact. And I think having a bit of courage and taking a step and trying to help somebody, and then finding out, you know, even years later, someone will message me randomly like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but you made a big impact. Or, you know, you teach somebody something and they get it, like helping somebody make it through something, and they say like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. You know, I didn't. That just inspires the heck out of me to be a part of that path for somebody. And it probably happened like just a few times, and it built and built and built, and then gradually I was like, okay, this is just my mission. And it's probably most people's mission, actually, is like to give back and to help others.
Should
right?
be.
Like,
definitely should be.
So I just found like, hey, that's what I'm here for, is to help others while still being remembering my primary role as a husband and father.
Yeah.
And my wife reminds me like, hey, it's cool you want to go help all these people, but you start here first.
Yeah.
And once again, it's like the humility. It's like, yes, I got to make sure, you know, that the home starts first. But yeah, I would think, you know, those many moments of helping people along their way and being like, wow, I actually can do this. I do help people. And then being like, well, here we go. Let's go all in and do something that aligns with like just who I am. Yeah.
It's funny. When we started this podcast, it wasn't to help people necessarily. It was just me, you know, stressed with life, just shooting from the hip, as you said. And sure enough, after we posted it, we had some, you know, friends and shit, they reach out, because everyone on the outside looked in, they thought our relationship, you know, like, wait, you guys started off rocky? Because we talked about it on our first episode, and we talked about, you know, mistakes I made and power of forgiveness and all that crap. But and having those people reach out to say, you know, like, hey, you helped me. Or I had a friend reach out to me, and I didn't realize this. You know, he was really suicidal years ago, and I was very blunt with him, and he tells me all these years later, he's like, yeah, man, you saved me. And like, just, wow.
Man, yeah.
And yeah, that is absolutely huge. I think that was her last one. Did you ever have an obsession or addiction that you had to overcome? And that, I think she's going there because that is her adversity. She's been clean for 15 years, and she escaped a very abusive relationship 15 years ago. Literally got her kids and fled for her life. And she's I believe God put her in my life to, put her through her adversity those years ago to, as she says, she built her armor to help me through my adversity that we've, more so recently have went through. Why did he have the obsession or addiction, or what did he start, or what did he start it, and how did he overcome it? If you had one, again, this is...
I would say... alcohol has been a part of my life since like way back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I quit recently.
Okay.
But there was times, and it's not like I was drinking the last 25 or 30 years straight, but it became just a part of my life. Like partying with my buddies, you know what I mean? And just the usual type stuff. But then after the military, it became like a normal every night thing and a habit. And it was like, well, I'm not getting drunk, but I was changing my state because I didn't have the ability to live and to perform, I guess, authentically as myself.
Okay.
So I needed the alcohol every night to kind of just, relax or chill out or whatever it is. And I looked back and I was like, damn, I've been doing this for like years and years now. And I tried to think, like I used to quit, drinking and train for a race and be like super hardcore, and then the race would end and then I started drinking again.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably an addiction for me.
Yeah.
And then I quit and I was like, look, I can't be the type of guy who's like, man, I'll just have like a glass of wine. I just enjoy a glass of wine. Like I take it to change my state or to cope, or then I'll, drink too much and then stay up too late and start wallowing and go down, you know, and that's not good. I can't be a good dad and role model like that. I see my kids are old enough now, so they'll be like, hey dad, what's in your drink? You know what I mean? So I stopped. I don't drink anymore. And I have,
good for you, man.
I would say those first couple of months, man, it's I was embarrassed how hard it was.
Really?
Yeah, I was embarrassed for myself.
It's like you have all this self-control and freaking probably one of the most disciplined people I've ever met, and that's crazy, because I mean
it was horrible. I was embarrassed for myself. Like I was struggling to not drink really bad. I'm like, come on, man, like this is not you. And it was because I was still addicted.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, man, for me, like praying my ass off.
Yeah.
And asking for help.
Yeah. And just for context, because I mean, I know this, but other people don't. Like talk about your running and your expeditions and stuff that you've conquered, because that's, that makes me, I don't know, Glenn, I will say initially, but and then talking to you, because I didn't know like you did ultra marathons and stuff like that. Like that planted a seed in my head, because that's now a dream of mine.
Watch out now.
That's a dream, man. But
it's once again, it's like an adventure.
Yeah.
I remember one of my really close friends and I, we were on a mountain bike ride, and we were walking our bikes up this mountain because it was too steep. And I saw a trail runner come out from a break in the trees, and he ran down the hill, and right as he got to the bottom of the hill, we were right there with our bikes, and I was watching him fly down this hill, and then he reached just like some kind of a post, like a trail marker, and he ran back up, and as he was coming down I was like, hey, what are you doing? he's like, a 50 miler. And he like turned and ran back up the hill. And it was the first time I'd ever heard of anything besides a marathon. Like I had no clue. And I was like, I was like, 50 miles. Yeah. And I looked at my buddy and I was like, holy shit, 50 miles. I was like, what? I didn't understand. And that was my seed. And that was like, I wonder if I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, and like, oh my gosh. And then it started me on this, like, here we go. Like the obsessive, like, and then I found out about ultra marathons. And then I heard about all these crazy races that people do, and like 100-mile races and everything. And I was like, same as you right now, same exact thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And my first 50 miler was in San Diego. Didn't know what I was doing. Like, got in the back of my truck when I finished, and like I almost cried. And I was like, I'm never doing it again. That was the fucking stupidest thing I've ever done. Like, feet hurt, legs hurt, totally crushed.
Yeah.
And then signed up for another one shortly thereafter.
Jeez.
But I used to love finishing the race for the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then I realized I really should enjoy the preparation and who you become getting ready for the race. And then now
the journey there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now it's, how do you run your race? Like, can you run the race like strong, with courage, with virtue?
Yeah.
Right? Being polite to everybody that you see at the aid stations, like being kind to your fellow runners, not complaining out loud. So now it's like the preparation piece is, I enjoy every single training run now, you know, and then on race day, it's like, okay, my goal, yes, of course, is to finish, but my goal is like excellence, and like, can I run the race and then be proud of how I did it?
Yeah.
So that's like why I enjoy doing it. And it's a challenge and it's fun.
You did what, 6 ultra marathons and a couple expeditions?
A couple of
Australia and
a few expedition, like adventure races where you're doing trekking, kayaking and mountain biking.
How long are those?
Usually like 5 to 7 days. It depends.
How many miles?
It's probably like maybe 300 to 350 miles, but it's like biking, kayaking, and running. So you're not running the whole time, but still, it's like it's a no shitter. Like there's definitely going to be plenty of ups and downs, and you got a team of people with you, so which is always nice.
Yeah.
But it's just an adventure. I don't know. It's like it makes life fun.
Oh, absolutely. And I know it's like probably 11:30 or so. I know we have to get up early in the morning and whatnot, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to cover. Like, I know we're kind of shooting from the hip here.
I'm down, man. Like, probably took me 10 minutes just to.
Yeah.
What did you think, man?
Man, I loved it from the moment we got here. You know, like you said, when you talked about that sunset, you know, it's just a great experience, and getting our ethos written up, and just, you know, a lot of the stuff like mindfulness and breathing technique and stuff. That's stuff I've been working on for about a year now or so. But when you're doing it as a group, the collective group and that energy, it's different. And just, you know, I don't do it like being outside and doing like breathing exercises outside and grounding with the, you know, with the mountain, and just, it's a whole different ball game, because, you know, that's what we need. I think there's this natural connection with the environment, whether it's trees and. This isn't going to be my last one of these. I want to do more retreats now. Like, this is just, it's so needed, you know, like a natural stress reset. And I know I said to you, like, this should be a prescription rather than giving somebody antidepressants. Like, no, you need to go on this retreat, especially for, you know, vets and, you know, first responders. And it's just about everybody here is a vet, first responder. And, not that not everybody could use help and whatnot, but this specifically is just, that brotherhood is just great.
Yeah, it was cool to see, like, day one cold plunge.
Yeah.
Like, even myself, I was like, oh, shit.
I've never done an actual cold plunge for more than like minute 45 in the lake, so this was very different.
But then, like, the last day, just seeing how, like, everybody locked in immediately. I was like, damn, that was cool.
Seeing that progress is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I hate about stuff like this, and I hate it about the Army, it's not really, the hate's not the right word, but I'm going to use it, is that it's like, you know, I'm sitting here, we're bullshitting, we're all at this table. It was 13 of us. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm looking around, like, man, like, it sucks. I'm more than likely not going to see most of these people ever again. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you get that connection, and it's real, you know. Mm-hmm. I miss it, because I've only been out, a couple of years, and I definitely, I need that camaraderie. Not that I don't get it from my friends and family, but it's different. It is, you know, that brotherhood. Where can people find information? Because there's a lot of veterans and first responders that watch this. Where can they find your website and whatnot?
Yeah, the website's called aretepath.com, ARETE path.com. I'm working on getting like we're going to call it a performance library. So we're going to have resources for folks like breathing exercises. Cool. It's all backed in science, but it's not going to be science up front. So it'll be like a practical guide, tools people can use, resources. I mean, there's already, the truth is out there. I'm just going to try to be a resource that provides truth without any catch, without any like dependencies created or anything. So, but that's it. The website, like I'm barely on LinkedIn or Instagram, so I need to get that up and running, but I'm on LinkedIn. But the website's probably the primary.
Okay, cool. And, you know, if people want to sponsor veterans and first responders, they can do that through your website. Yeah. And it's for such good cause, because this could change the trajectory of somebody's life, no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure it has here in this rotation here. So, and you do it all over the country. You kind of pick places you find that maybe work. And have you ever done anything outside of the country or no?
I haven't, but that would be pretty awesome. Yeah. We've been in Breckenridge, Colorado, Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah. This one's in Alabama. It's nice because it's kind of in my backyard a little bit.
What is the name of the state park? How do you pronounce this?
Cheeha.
Okay. Yeah. I had no idea. I said it probably 30 different ways.
But yeah, I mean, if folks are looking at sponsoring veterans to attend a retreat, I always make that available, and that's a huge opportunity. Yeah. I was sponsored my first event and retreat, and it was super helpful to me. So I love to pay it forward as well. Yeah, absolutely. Are there any people that sponsor that you want to just do a shout out to their companies or the organizations or nonprofits or anything like that? Consequence of Habit. Okay. Sponsored 3 guys to come here. So JT Frank, if you hear this, thank you very much. The SEAL Future Foundation sponsored 3 guys to come here as well. So they're an amazing organization, helping former and actually current Navy SEALs as well. Phenomenal. So, and I've actually, Glenn sponsored a couple guys to come himself. Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, shit. Yeah. So a lot of people, just out of the goodness and just a desire to help, have been like, I'll bring 2 guys. Heck yeah. So it's awesome. No, that's incredible, man. Yeah. Well, as you know, I thank you a million times. I'll thank you a million more. I appreciate this more than you could imagine. Yeah. Anytime, brother. Yeah. Thank you. I'll kill this, that way we can get some shut eye and call my wife. And you're awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.